How are we doing? I only wanted to do a quick stream really because I found these drawings from a stream I did the other day, but the recording wasn't that good, so we're going to dip in. We're here, but I wanted to talk about how you can kind of convey a lot even by stripping out the basics. Basics being like nose and mouth and colour, and you know what I mean. I feel like this says a lot, and despite it being kind of silly and basic, and a lot of people might argue things like this are kind of derivative as well. It's hard not to do anything with any kind of nod to anything else, like even if you just kind of make it up. I could say a lot of different things which like relate to this shape, you know, but really at the end of the day it's like a sort of roundish square, two dots, a couple of triangles without the bottom, and then these lines connecting it to form this, you know. And then just kind of going for like basic hand shapes. It's almost like we're doing, they're kind of like things that you draw for films, you know what I mean? So here's that one. You know, these could be scenes, dioramas. The word, I've lost the word. Forgive me, having a bit of a brain fart there. It's been a long day. I've had a lot to contend with. But we're not here for that. We're here for this. We're here for some drawing. Cats decide to be like, actually, he is really speaking our truth. This guy, the driver's seat, you know, because we really like this guy. And these all cats will follow it, you know. Still just a cat. This cat's just looking up. Is he looking up and behind him, or is he just looking up at something else? And meanwhile, in the background, this cat is jumping up and down on a trampoline, if it's not clear. Obviously trees in the background, but we can convey quite a lot here. There's something going on. Maybe less going on here, but I do like this drawing still. It's like running. I haven't looked at these drawings since I was going to be like, let's put these on the stream. So in fact, because some of them aren't really relevant, they're like different styles. Oh no, we got a fair few of these. Okay, I'm going to remove, because some of these are from past streams. There we go. So yeah, it's like he's running up with two icons in a video game. Stuff when I'm doodling, I don't really hold back. I kind of just be like, you know, scrolling through a game screen or pause menu, or I just like to just kind of go at the piece of paper. And I guess I've sort of felt that this piece of paper was well used, despite the foot being cut off there and the sort of questionable positioning of the legs. I don't know, it's like bending back there. It wasn't really how his leg would move, but it works as a style and a drawing. And again, repeated, it kind of just fits the mold. This guy, I'd rather think that this is him presenting a sword to him, like, oh, I found this, just to clear, and they're sort of maybe in some water somewhere. Kind of cool little scene. This, with that drawing in mind, I was like, oh, it looks like he might be pulling the sword out or something. So I wanted to do that. And here he is pulling a sword out of a rock with this sort of dragon character in the background. If you've seen me draw dragons, and I mean, I'm sure a lot of other people, I'm not like come up with some monumental discovery here in doodling or drawing or cartooning or whatever you want to call it. But I like drawing like the posture of a cat. I think a cat is a really good indicator, a really good inspiration for how you might draw a dragon. I think like looking at cats is a really fun way to approach dragon drawing. And here we are. He's just holding some dynamite. I've been playing a lot of Red Dead recently, and I guess I just thought of dynamite. This was the first one of these I drew. I think I drew this guy and this guy first, and then I added these when I was drawing other things, and I was just like, I don't know where this is going, and that's where these came out. So, and I was like, oh yeah, I like this idea that they're all wearing these sort of suits, and they're like cat. They just love cats. It's just a good guy that love cats. And there we are with a blank piece of paper. I'll draw a few of these now as well. Why not? They're pretty fun, pretty easy, and you can learn the formula and draw them yourself. I'm just going to use a marker. I don't care about, with this style that I'm going for here, I'm not using different line thicknesses. I'm just going for like shape and page coverage. So I don't care about all of this. Again, you've seen it before. You know, who cares about these extra spots on the page? That desire to be perfect, it really isn't present in any of my work when I'm in this phase. You might not see any kind of the other phase of work from me really on this channel. Maybe you will. I'm not sure. I'm not making any promises. But I like quick, and I like just really going with the flow and doing stuff like that, and just kind of finding foreshortening and perspective. And again, I feel like that says a lot. I'm not just trying to be like, yo, isn't this amazing? What I'm saying is that this says a lot, just simply, you know? Like, what's he reaching for? What's he doing? I haven't gone necessarily a plan. I'm just going for some shapes that work. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of... I think I'm getting into a habit on this channel of drawing everything, like, leaning this way. But, again, it doesn't matter. We'll deliberately cross over and do some guy, like, facing the other way. And... there we go. And his arm can sweep up here. Could just have hidden his arm, but might be a bit lazy. And so he's sort of like behind him. Maybe he's now holding a torch. Right. And this is them like navigating something. So torch, and then maybe because they have a torch, she should have a sword. And maybe that now on his arm is a shield. And these guys are just a couple of warriors. I'm not sure his weapon is, but you don't have to give everyone a weapon, you know. This is the guy with the weaponry, and this is the guy with the torch. There we go. Quite a nice little image. What could we do on here? Maybe there's a duck that's also like partially leading the way. You draw the characters in amongst this. It's just that these are sort of the theme thing. These style characters will go with it. It's okay if the eye isn't on. There. There we go. And we could try and give their feet. Maybe that's like he's stepping there and he's stepping in behind. And then they're like that. And they're like, yeah, we need to get out of here. What would be nice, while I'm here, it'd be good to put in some effort. Let's get this big fat marker. Other brands are available. I think I just went for what looked to be the cheapest for loads. I bought loads of these because I just got myself enough art material to last me maybe a year, because I bought the basics. Because really it's not like I don't need the best anything. I could draw the biro and a receipt and I have fun with it. So for me it was just like, let me just make sure I can always draw. If I can always draw, I can always chill, have fun, be happy. And the thing is this doesn't matter. I'm not trying to sell this, and I'm not giving advice. I do promote the idea that people should get into doodling. I think it's really good for your mind. I remember my dad used to doodle loads when I was a kid, just on the side of the newspaper, and I'd come in and check it out. And I would just see the drawings. I would see him doing it occasionally, and it was like magic to me. Because I'd be like, wow, that's so funny. Look at that guy's face. Look at his. He's got a really long chin. And my dad had like quite a funny drawing style. I'm not sure he can necessarily replicate it now. I did ask him. I don't think necessarily he remembers some of the drawings in the detail, but I've got this one in memory. That he would do like this. Maybe not quite like this, but this chin, this idea of this chin, you know, I don't know whether it could be a beard. I've kind of done that wrong. Quite a fun character though. Yeah. I don't know. It never quite looked like that. But that's the sort of impression he was given, like this sort of like, I don't know, Lincoln-esque dude. Yeah. I'm a little bit worried. Anyway. Quick drawing. Just to remind yourself you can do other styles. Back to these other guys. Let's use this big pen for a minute. Remember, it's just the key that. It's so simple for this dude. And you know what we're maybe going to do? That's a drawing the other guy's done. I don't want to do any or many, can you tell what it is yet, type things on this channel. I'm, you know, thinking in the zone. Sorry, I didn't get that sketch quite in the light. I saw this light situation out, folks, my bad. Yeah, cool. I couldn't even brighten it up. Oh, I've got a blue light on at the moment. There we go. A little bit better. And there we go. Which is the fresh one? By the looks of it, it's this one. And then we can draw more detailed versions of the guy, you know? We don't have to stick to like the, we can mess about with thicknesses. It's mainly just that we've got to keep the core principles in mind. He's like, ooh, I'm leaning over like, oh, I did a good job of that one. And there he is. Maybe we give this one eyebrows and a couple of sort of like those marks. That seems like it's fair within our rule set. I'm not going to do the ears because it's a suit. Yeah, the head's a bit square, so what? What are you going to do about it? That's the nature of the mask, really. It's kind of square, so that's how it evolves. Maybe we could do it different next time, but I think that guy's kind of cool. And it adds to the collection nicely. And the thing is if you can't work out what to do, just start doing the next one and trust. Here's the main thing you should trust. It just doesn't matter. It's never mattered. But I love it. I absolutely love that. It's satisfying. He's looking over his shoulder. I know the look. I've been there. He's waving and looking over his shoulder like, hey, come over here. We can even do a few of these. You know, he hasn't got a mouth, so I guess his form of doing extra communication is that. Yeah, right. Yeah, it reminds me of that as well. Yeah, there's a few things that came to mind. I'm trying to like in a way deliberately like avoid it being like that. Maybe like I don't know. You can see what I'm sort of doing. I'm trying to like push it away from that. It was never the inspiration. It's just how it happens, isn't it? When you sort of draw these things. But yeah, especially when you include things like the sword and the shield, which I've been drawing. I get it. I haven't actually watched a lot of it. I'll be honest, but I've seen it for years. It's kind of hard not to know what it is. Feels like it might be too late to go back and watch it. I think he's holding a flashlight. might have to go further in now and change it up and give him handlebar. Handlebars kind of just change characters entirely. That's what he's doing. Yeah, scared look. I'm going for a scared look. And go for like smaller bodies but with big heads and fit more on the paper then. Sort of saying hi. You know what I mean? I like doing it the rough with these sort of non-connecting connecting lines. Sort of draw them in like this despondent way. Sometimes things are so animated that seeing something like just completely non-animated, just like meh, you know, satisfying to look at. Like I don't want, you know, I'm not going to do it, but like do there. There we go. I'm looking at this guy from behind. Really tiny in the background over here. Sorry about the mic hit. Tiny in the background over here is over one of these guys as well. And he's like, hello. And there we go. So using the pen thicknesses in a different way there. 3 layers. The in focus foreground. Let's smudge that a bit as well. Yeah, it's not going to work, it's just pen. And then there, you know, there we have it. Just exploring different ideas. What we're not going to explore is turning the paper portrait. We're going to keep on with this landscape business. No pun intended. This guy's researching something at the computer. That's, I think, what's going to be happening over here. Yeah. Yeah, nice. And then let's make it a laptop. His laptop's black. So it doesn't matter if we. It really doesn't matter if we. You know, cover up his hands. We know what they look like. We know that they were foreshortened nicely. Now we've got to just trust that this laptop will actually, because you know, this drawing's not about the hands. It's kind of funny that I've just been doing that. I've just drawn that, and that's what I'm now facing. You know, I'm facing the same problem, just looking into the computer, staring into the void, trying to figure something out. And that's what this guy's doing here, just trying to figure something out. Anyway, And there's people looking over his shoulder like. I can't be too long on this stream because I was filming this because I'm trying to explain a point about minimalism, and if I go on for too long, what's minimal about it? But still, I'll do one or two more of these little guys. Karen, add into that collection. As I say, all my drawings get filed away for me to do something with at some point, probably an exhibition where I just show them as drawings. I guess we're still going with this on the computer theme with this guy, doing the same sort of thing again. Here's his desk in front of him. Well, no, you know what? He's not a thingy. He is by a pool, side bar, and people are having fun in the water, you know, and everything's fine. Or maybe just looks like he's he's ordering a drink at a pool bar. Other drinks are available, especially ones like you don't want to drink that. And there we go. Oh, by the way, is it saying that I'm playing Red Dead still? No, it's saying I'm doing art. My God. I keep saying that I'm playing Red Dead when I'm drawing. So I ain't doing that. Do all the hatching of the water that way. That's how it's laid out. You know, you might be working on something more important to you, or maybe just chilling, being like, I want to see what I can come up with. Mostly, I think I just like practicing a lot of the same shapes again and again, and so doing these styles of drawing, like when I come to like doing other stuff, it's just practicing it, like in the same way that like a doctor has a practice, I have an art practice. Like I'm just like, hey, how, you know, what's your hand work like at the moment? Are you drawing a lot of hands? You need to make sure you still stay drawing hands. Are you drawing any trees at the moment? What trees are you drawing? Are you drawing evergreens? Are you drawing deciduous? You know, it's an art practice. Are you thinking about what you're drawing? Are you drawing free flow? It's all a part of the narrative. And that probably wasn't the best example of a scribble. And sort of put myself on the spot. But I guess that's what it's about. This guy. He's telling him to go over there, and he's like, where? That's what's going on in this drawing. I suppose I'm not really in the scribble zone at the moment. I'm more in this sort of sketchy black pen Catman suit character thing. Not sure what you would call this. Doodling. It's not really doodling either. It's sketchy. Being sketchy with a marker. Marker sketching. I mean, a lot of people, I did a master's in fine art, and there's a lot of people that I did fine art with and involved in those circles that would be like, that's not art. But also there's a lot of people that might, if they just saw this and didn't hear from me or talk to me or whatever, they might consider like seeing thousands of these drawings in a style art, right? Maybe one on its own. Maybe that's what is quite, do you know what I mean? It's the repetition of it. Bit of a Warholism, if you like. But I just can't stop drawing these cat people. It's so satisfying. Because once you can just replicate it quick, you're like, yeah, what else can I do? Come over here, guys. That's what this guy's saying. To draw Bob Ross. No, this isn't really Bob Ross. What is it? Well, it will be if I do this, won't it? Given the easel. I've forgotten what an easel looks like. It's been so long. There's a little shirt. Stood there. Bob Ross. Let's put a table in front. I'm obsessed with putting tables in front of people at the moment. Although maybe his arm should be coming out there. Holding that. There's Bob Ross. Draw a couple more. And I'll keep saying that. Really? Yeah, markers are good. I think I'm just into it at the moment. Like, I don't care about this. You know what I mean? I didn't look at that and go like, oh, I got it wrong. You know? At the end of the day, that's kind of the majority of what it's about. One more. I'm not trying to end on anything in particular, it's just I'm seeking one more. I do have to go. Got plans. Got plans that I'm already late for. It's been great. I'll be on stream another time. Hopefully we can draw together. I'd love to see what you're drawing and what you're doing, but I've got a jet, so nice one. And to anyone else that's watching, I can't see numbers and stuff like that on any of the other networks, but yeah, thank you